to our movie studio down the Universal movie timeline. Look to the right. You're seeing a lineup of movie posters from just a few of our favorite films here at Universal. We've most likely made a few of your favorite films because, frankly, well, we've just made a lot of films, okay? Once again, we've been working here on this property for 110 years, since 1915, so we've made a lot of movies. It all started, like I said, with Carl Laemmle, our founder, who was originally a German immigrant. He moved to America in 1884 and became obsessed with the art of motion pictures, so much so that he dreamt of creating a one-stop shop for movie making. He wanted to make an entire city just devoted to the craft of film, and that's what he made, a city. This is not Hollywood or Studio City or Burbank. No, we're in Universal City, our very own filmmaking city. To the right is our fire station. It's a real fire station, a real firefighter. It has to be, because to be a real city as we are, you gotta have a few things that all cities must have. So you gotta have a fire station, a sheriff's station, a zip code, and at least one Starbucks coffee. You have to have one. So we have everything a city requires. The only thing we're missing is residents. No one lives here. Instead, we have artists that come together every day to bring you guys your favorite TV shows and movies. Now, where do we film the shows and movies? Mostly in sound stages. Look to the left, you'll see our largest and oldest soundstage, Stage 12. Built back in 1928 for the movie musical Broadway. Since then, it's where some of the most memorable moments in filmmaking history have been brought to life. These stages start empty. It's up to the production that rents the space to fill it out with whatever environment, whatever set they require for their movie or TV show. And remember, we're a one-stop shop, so you can build your set right here on the lot. We got a wood shop, a metal shop, a staff shop, where you can craft a set from scratch, load it into your soundstage, light it up, and start filming. And that's what they're doing here in this stage, 9 and 10, as they prepare for a new season of Bel-Air. Actually, I think they're actually up ahead here in 7 and 8, but no matter what, that's what they're doing. They're getting ready for some more filming for our hit show, Bel-Air, which streams on Peacock if you want to catch up and then join us for season 4. We're so excited. Now, this is also where they just finished up a season of Ted, our teddy bear series, which also streams on Peacock, and Hacks, season 4, with Gene Smart and Hannah Einbinder, which has won us a bunch of Emmys and a couple Golden Globes as well. So we're very proud of that one. It streams on Max.com. Why do we film in sound stages? Well, they're soundproof, 98% soundproof. The walls are 4 times thicker than typical walls and heavily insulated. That way it's always quiet on set, so we can hear all the hilarious lines of dialogue being spoken by our actors. To the left-hand side here, you see base camp for Bel-Air. Oh, guys, see that red flashing light over there? That's a wigwag light. That means they're filming actively inside of stage 14. So as we get closer, I'm going to cut my mic here for a second, and so I don't end up on Bel-Air. Hold on. All right, so I know I said the sound stages were soundproof, and they are, but in case just a little bit of sound can get through, they like us to be quiet when they know they're actively filming, which we did. Wigwag lights are on all of these sound stages, so you can keep your eyes peeled for them as well, just in case we run into some other filming. Here to the right-hand side is 16 and 17. This is where they just finished up a season of Loot with Maya Rudolph. Over across the way is 18, where we did scenes from our Best Picture winner, Oppenheimer, with Cillian Murphy. Stage 19, right next door, is where we did all 4 seasons of The Good Place with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson, a little Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson, and recently a new show called A Man on the Inside, which stars Ted Danson. Yes, Ted Danson loves this stage. He keeps coming back because sometimes you just want to go where everybody knows your name, and that's sort of Ted's thing. So cheers to Ted, and cheers to our other favorite Ted, Ted the Teddy Bear. Have a good night, Ted. Enjoy that generic beer. Now, Ted's in front of this little Ted-colored building here. This is called a bungalow, okay? It's what we call our offices. You're going to see a bunch of bungalows here to the left. And this is where some of the best writers, directors, producers in the biz come to work every day. These are their offices. We've got Illumination here on the lot. They brought you Despicable Me, Secret Life of Pets. We got Mark Platt Productions. Mark Platt brought you La La Land. And more recently, Wicked with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. They're going to be back for part 2 in November. We cannot wait. But Before these were just offices that used to be the dressing rooms back in the golden age of Hollywood for stars like Rock Hudson, Doris Day, Jimmy Stewart, Lucille Ball. During that era, we used to contract actors to one studio at a time. So if they were signed to Universal, they couldn't work anywhere else. And since they were going to be here a lot, we wanted them to have a permanent home on the property. So we gave them each a bungalow. We've done the same with directors. Look to the left, 5195 is Alfred Hitchcock's old office, the master of suspense behind thrillers like Psycho, Vertigo, Rear Window, and The Birds. All right next door is stage 25. This is where they brought back Will and Grace for those final 3 seasons. If you remember, they revived it right here. Right next door is stage 26, where they're currently working on St. Denis Medical. St. Denis Medical is a new workplace comedy by the same team that brought you Superstore. It stars Wendy McLennan-Covey, who you might know from The Goldbergs. And they're back for season 2, doing all the pre-production work that leads up to filming. All right, folks, we're crossing from the front lot into the back lot. Look to the left-hand side and take in our first and largest backlot set, our city. We call it the Metropolitan set. We'll see a little bit more of it in a moment, but right now I gotta get you away from our concrete jungle so we can go to the real jungle of Skull Island.
I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up to the edge. Kong literally does that. You're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from prehistoric times. I was thrilled when you invited me back to Skull Island. It was great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
All right, thrill seekers, stay seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times and hold on tight to your loved ones. By your loved ones, I mean your cell phones, okay? Hold on to your cell phones. Anything important, do not drop it in Skull Island. You have been warned. All right, put on your 3D glasses, folks. Let's do this. That was awesome, right? King Kong was like, "Rawr," and the T-Rex was like, "Rawr," and you guys were like, "Ew, it spit at me." Yeah. All right, take off your 3D glasses. You won't need those anymore. Let me tell you a little bit more about that experience. That was designed by Peter Jackson and the team at Weta Effects. Weta Effects is an Academy Award-winning visual effects company, which means they do computer-generated effects, CGI, things like that. You may never have heard of them, but you've probably seen their work in films like Avatar, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, King Kong, Avengers Endgame, Avatar, The Way of Water, and a couple of my favorite TV shows from the 90s, Hercules and Xena the Warrior Princess, starring Lucy Lawless. Woo, she's my favorite action star, Miss Lawless. Great name for an action star as well. All right, folks, back into our backlot. So I didn't really get fully time to explain earlier. Inside of our sound stages, we mostly do interior scenes, okay? Scenes that happen inside, bedrooms, offices, kitchens, etc. But sometimes you gotta see outside on camera, exterior scenes, and those sets sometimes need more space than our sound stages allow. So that's when we film on the backlot, when we have large-scale exterior scenes. Our largest set is the Metro set, which can act as multiple cities. It can be New York, LA, it's been Chicago and the Blues Brothers, my hometown of Kansas City in the movie City Heat, London, and The Prestige with Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, and that's just a few of the titles that have filmed here over the years. Recently, our shows Bel Air and Ted and A Man on the Inside have all used this set. Right now, they're using it as sort of a base camp for The Voice because we are actively approaching The Voice sound stages. Stage 30 and 31 coming up on the left-hand side are home to The Voice, and I just saw the audience moved in there from across the way. So they're in there currently filming the singers taking the stage, which is super fun. Of course, this is season 27. They've got a whole new group of coaches on the team.
Studio Tour. I'm Kelsey Ballerini.
And I'm John Legend. Did you know that the Universal Backlot is home to The Voice?
It is, that's right. We tape right here on stage 31. And don't miss our incredible new season every Monday and Tuesday on NBC.
Yeah, thanks, John Legend. Okay, here we go. Up ahead, you'll see stage 33. That was home recently to Reba McEntire's new sitcom called Happy's Place, which airs on NBC. This little lake is my personal happy place. This is Park Lake. Yes, it's home to a whole family of adorable ducks. They're so cute. They're way cuter than the creature that used to inhabit this water, the gill man from Creature from the Black Lagoon, yes. This guy used to live here too, but he didn't look as cute eating breadcrumbs out of our hands. Can you imagine? So scary. This design was done by an artist named Millicent Patrick. She was originally a Disney artist, but she moved to Universal, became one of the first women ever added to a special effects makeup team here in the industry, cementing her legacy forever with this design. Special effects makeup was new to the industry when we started making our monster movies back in the 30s and 40s, and we made a ton of them. Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, which were all made here on the lot. The set behind you is Little Europe, where they filmed all of these movies. All right, folks, I gotta remind you that we're halfway through the tour. The studio is private property. If you drop your phone and you just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord, but do remain seated on the tram, especially right now in this sound stage, okay? This is the only stage that we get to drive our trams through. And usually we only come in when it's empty. We've got a fun exception to that rule today. There's an active production in the space. Now they're not here filming today, obviously, but they will be back in the next couple of days, and we don't want to disrupt their hot set. So just be careful, hold on to your stuff, okay? Now, you can take pictures of this set. I just can't tell you any details about the Wow, I think we're having a little earthquake. You guys okay? Oh, it's still happening. Stay seated. Hold on. These things typically pass very quickly. Okay, there's no need to panic. I repeat, no need to panic. Wait, what's that? No, the roof just caved in. Everyone panic. I said, everyone panic. There you go. Thank you. folks, that was Earthquake, the big one. And this is where we're going into that quiet zone, okay? So I'm gonna hop off the mic, you guys take in the view, and I'll join you as soon as I can. Hey, keep an eye out for sharks, would you? earshot. So we're going to talk to you a little while longer before we go quiet again. This is Old Mexico, and this is where we're going to show you how we might create a little weather for a scene. Ready? Action. Yes. This is how we would create a storm for a scene. We're using a very complicated, very intricate system here. It's called a sprinkler. Maybe you've heard of it. You have. Okay, it shoots the water out and up. That way it falls back down as naturally as possible. And now we've got a storm. If we wanted to film here, we'd need to bring out some better lighting equipment. If you don't light ray correctly, it can make your picture a little blurry, okay? So the trick is to backlight it. Light from behind the water, then it should show up pretty clear. You're not just hearing the sound of rain, you're also hearing sizzling bacon, which is a sound effect we add to rain. Wait, what's that? Oh no, it's a flash flood! Take cover, everyone! No, not up here, I'm up here. Oh, no. Not cool. You guys did pretty good though. You did way better than Paul Giamatti and Big Fat Liar. I love Paul. He's a great actor, but he does not know how to handle a flood. You know who did better? Lady Gaga. She stood that same flood in a full-length gown for her music video for Judas. She refused to use a stunt person. She's very brave. Did it all herself. Now, a lot of brave scenes have happened here in the dry part of Old Mexico. It's where they filmed for Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse the Black Pearl, and Paramount's Nacho Libre with Jack Black, the bravest luchador. But if you're looking for the true home of the brave, Look no further than right here in the Wild Wild West. Welcome to 6 Points, y'all. This is where we created some of the greatest westerns of all time with some of your favorite cowboys, like Destry Reds Again with Jimmy Stewart and Miss Marlena Dietrich, or My Little Chickadee with Mae West and W.C. Fields. Added a couple of new favorite cowboys to our roster back in 2018 when they were here filming for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's latest, with Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio. A couple of no-name actors you probably never heard of, but they're pretty good. Now these are our oldest sets on the lot. When we first opened up in 1915, 110 years ago, we were making mostly silent westerns, so this area was very busy. We had 6 full western streets at the time, and each street had its own bank, saloon, and jail. You could make a whole western on one street, so we could make about 6 westerns at the same time on the same set. Why? Because they were silent. Nowadays, with all the recording that's going on, we gotta spread out productions to make sure everybody gets the best audio quality possible. We also have to make sure that when our trams drive by, we're quiet as well. So that's what's going to happen again as we pull up towards the set for The Burbs. Now I'll tell you, if you didn't hear me before on the load line, they're filming on the same set that they filmed Desperate Housewives on, Wisteria Lane. It's also where they filmed Never Have I Ever, and movies like The Burbs, Casper the Friendly Ghost, and TV shows like The Munsters and The Hardy Boys. All right, I'm going to cut my mic, enjoy the view, and I'll join you when I can. finally made it through the quiet zone. Saw a little bit of activity going on out there, so we'll continue to let them work. We're visiting the Bates Motel here from Psycho. Actually, the motel is from the sequels to Psycho, but up this hill is one of the oldest sets left standing in all of Hollywood, the original Psycho house. I hear sometimes when you look up in the left-hand upper window, you can still see Mother haunting the house. Yeah, she's here. Alright, from one terrifying set into another, we've pulled into the set from War of the Worlds from 2005. This is where Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning hide out from an alien invasion. That, my friends, is a real 747. An airplane bought and destroyed for this very scene. Take a look.
Sit down and talk.
We'll be not letting anyone into the surrounding areas and all aircraft have been grounded. On the other side of town, four of the alien craft have been spotted. You're doing good. Destroying everything in their path. Everyone is
Close your eyes, okay? Now close. Bobby, get in. Get in.
Get in, Robbie. We gotta go. Yeah, they bought that airplane from an airline graveyard, which is where planes go when they're too old to fly anymore. So this is an old airplane. I don't know exactly how old, but I can tell you that none of the seats have a video screen, and all of the seats have an ashtray. So smoking on airplanes old. All right, folks, we're about 5 to 10 minutes away from the end of our tour. Just a final reminder to stay seated and pull the red cord if you need any assistance. Right now, though, I need a little assistance taking you to another set. This is a set from Nope, starring Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya. Here to walk you through it is writer-director Academy Award winner Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? What? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, old Rush frontier town, lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. Welcome to the world of No.
Whoa. Did you guys see that? Nope. Don't worry, you weren't supposed to see anything in particular. It's just a great example of using sound effects to build your suspense. Put you on the edge of your seat, make you wonder what's about to pop out next. This is exactly what they do in thrillers and horror movies all the time. Really, all movies are about manipulating your emotions using your senses. What changes is the type of emotion they're trying to get you to feel, whether it's anxiety or relief or joy or inspiration. They use all the different tools in the toolbox to be able to do this. Sound is a very powerful way to influence emotion, along with music and color. You know, certain colors have certain emotional effects on the mind. So when we see certain colors, it can make us feel certain ways. Filmmakers know this. They'll use a lot of one color. We call it a color motif to create a certain emotional tone for the film. Red could be danger. Green could be mystery. Blue can be relaxing. Feeling very relaxed as we're approaching one of my favorite sets, Falls Lake here to the right. See that big pit in front of the screen? They fill that up with water, did big ocean lake scenes, even Hudson River scenes like this scene from Sully, which filmed out here. Tom Hanks, the plane, the people, the water was all really here on set, but everything in the background, the cityscape, the skyline, that's just that big blue screen you saw. Acting as a green screen so that we can digitally impose whatever backdrop we want into the scene and make it take place anywhere. That's the job of an editor and a visual effects supervisor, a couple of people who we don't often think about in the industry. There's a lot of unsung heroes in this industry, and we always love our tour because we hope that it reminds you of all the people that work in film and television and work so hard, equally as hard to the directors and actors, to bring these stories to life. Lighting technicians, set builders, editors, visual effects artists, costume designers, makeup artists, who all work for months, sometimes years, to make these projects happen. So next time you watch a movie, we hope that we made you think about it a little bit differently. And when you see a movie you love, you might stay to the end, watch the credits roll, and take in just how many people brought that story to life. But folks, right now, we got to get you back to the theme park so you can enjoy the rest of your night here at Universal. Thanks so much for joining us today. If you haven't downloaded the Universal Studios Hollywood app, do so. It'll give you show times, wait times, all the park information you need to get around today. If I reminded you of your favorite Universal movie or TV show you want to go watch again, you can find out how to stream and purchase all of our content online at uphe.com. Come back and see us next year. We're opening up our roller coaster in 2026, Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. Come back and drift with us, okay? But right now, Jose is drifting us back into home base. Clap it up for your driver, Jose, everybody! Yes, thank you, Jose, you're the best. My name's Alex, it was a joy to be your guide. I'll hang out for a second, waving goodbye if you got any questions, but otherwise, get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day at Universal Studios Hollywood. We'll see you next time. As we say in the biz,